few weeks. Today what we're going to be learning is all about natural water filters and our survival techniques. So today what we are going to do is turn this muddy pond water into drinking water. And the way we're going to be able to do that is using filtration. Today the resources that you will need is some sand, an empty bottle of water, some charcoal, a little bit of cotton wool, and an implement to be able to cut the bottle in half. I'm going to be able to use my knife, but you can quite easily use the scissors at your house. To be able to understand our natural water filters, we need to be able to understand filtration. And to do that, we're going to head over to the water. To be able to understand how we use our natural water filters, first of all, we need to be able to understand filtration. If you imagine this tray of water with the little beads inside, is the dirty water. The beads represent the dirty particles, and the water is the water in which we need to filter. To be able to do this, I have a little tool to help me. This tray has very small holes. If we look at the size of the dirty water particle, and it won't fit through the holes. So if I said to you, can you get all of the dirty water particles out of this tray? We could sit there and pick them one by one and take them all out. Or we could use this tray to be able to sieve them out. And now I have just the dirty water particles and the water is free from it. This process is sieving or filtration. Welcome back. So the first thing that we need to be able to do is to understand why sand and charcoal can help us with our natural water filter. Sand has been used for 2,000 years plus. By the Greeks and Romans used to use it to be able to filter out their bath water. And today we're going to use sand to be able to help us filter. By simply using a sieve, I can extract all the fine sand leaving the slightly more coarse sand, and you'll see why this is important later in the video. So now that we've filtered out our sand and we've got the two different types of sand, fine sand and more coarse sand, the next ingredient that we're going to be using is charcoal. And the idea behind the charcoal is that sand, like mentioned earlier, filters 25 microns. Charcoal can filter 1 micron. So it's a lot finer of a filtration system. So we're going to put this first. The idea is that we need to be able to break up our charcoal into as smaller pieces as possible. I'm going to use a pestle and mortar, but if you don't have a pestle and mortar, you can crush it up using your hands. So finally, I've got my charcoal and it's crushed up into a nice fine powder. And now we can start to put together our natural water filter. We're going to take our bottle, and what we're going to do is actually cut our bottle about 2/3 and 1/3. So if we imagine half and then just move it down slightly, this is where we're going to cut. First thing that we're going to do is to pack the end with a little bit of cotton wool, and this is to prevent the charcoal falling through the hole. So if I pack that down and push it, squeeze it down, and now I'm going to add my charcoal. Once I have my charcoal layer, I can now add the fine sand. And we've come to the final stage of the first part of our natural water filter. We have our cotton wool in the bottom to stop the charcoal falling through, and the next layer is the sand. Don't forget that we went in levels of fineness. The charcoal, which can filter up to 1 micron, and the sand, which is about 25 microns. The charcoal is the finest, and then the sand. Next week, we'll be going on a little bit further. But for now, I'd like you to practice making this. See you next week.